Today, I wanted to talk about the value of submax training for maximal gains in powerlifting, whether or not you're peaking for a meet. Now, of course, I want to acknowledge that as we're trying to peak into a powerlifting meet, we're going to be using higher than average loads and probably a bit a lower volume so that we can recover session to session from that higher intensity. But that doesn't mean that we're not getting any value from the days that aren't super hard. Submax work allows you to be more intentional with your technique, and you don't need a ton of weight on the bar to be able to practice these things. And in fact, probably the opposite is true. You're going to need lighter loads to work on things like this, like speed, bracing, leg drive, things like that. It also allows you to do good reps without being affected by fatigue, which also leads to neurological gains, which will make you more efficient in executing the technique that you want and also building strength in the positions that you want. Closer proximity to failure can lead to longer recovery times. So if you're constantly training at a high intensity, then your fatigue can snowball. And if you're doing things like, for example, unplanned maxes that are not accounted for, then can become problematic because then you start to struggle during blocks when you really can just be progressing, building up to a higher intensity day. And then the fatigue accumulation is not accounted for. And trust me, I totally get it. I love going heavy, but I promise that those unplanned maxes are doing a lot more harm than good. All right, so it might feel good in the moment, but it's going to bite you in the butt in one of two ways. And one of them is going to be that it's going to make the assisting sessions feel a lot more difficult than they need to. So you're going to be wondering why you're not progressing, and most likely it's because you're not fully recovered from the extra work that you were doing, which led to excess fatigue that wasn't accounted for within your training volume. And then the other thing that it's going to do is that it's going to lead to decreased skill, and it's going to make your reps consistently inconsistent. Of course, there is a time and a place for hard sets and hard sessions. They are literally the best part of lifting, but they don't have to come at the expense of the rest of your training. And show more love to those submax days, because I'm telling you, they are definitely contributing to your next PR.